All right, this is the January 28th Public Works Commission meeting for the city of Watertown. I will call to order at 5:30. I'm going to do a roll call vote because of some other agenda items we have. So Wetzel, Bartz,
Here.
Smith,
Here.
Thompson,
Here.
and Board is here. So we have a full quorum. Is there any comments and suggestions from citizens present? I see none online, so I'll move on. Item 3 is review and approve the minutes from the Public Works Commission minutes from January 14th of 2025. Motion to approve.
Second that.
Leave me hanging, don't you? All right, any questions, comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right, our first item of business under 4A, review and take possible action, the 2024 annual quarry report.
All right, so this evening we have our Public Works Project Manager, Chris Newberry, with us. Chris works, kind of part of your time is spent with street and solid waste divisions and part is with engineering. On this particular item, you've been tasked with a lot of the regulatory oversights and operations of our city quarry. So with that, I'll pass it over to you to go over our 24 annual report.
Sure. So this is our annual 2024 report. It actually gets submitted to the regulator, and the regulator is, in this case, the city. So we're just looking for you guys to approve the report. Excuse me. It's an annual report. We do it every year.
So we kind of regulate our own quarry approval at the municipal level. So that's this item this evening is due by the end of January. And then from there, and Chris, if I'm off on the deadline, just let me know. We would, pending approval, submit it to the state, and that's February. That is due to the DNR. Yep.
Chris, what are a couple things you want us to note? How about the activity at the quarry?
Sure. Well, the quarry isn't used as much for the virgin material as it used to be. There's a significant amount of asphalt and concrete that can be recycled there and reused in our streets. And I think we're starting to use that material now for that process. And I believe last year, was it the first time that we actually had a contractor use the material on a street project? I don't know.
Yes, so we hire a crushing contractor really every year or every other year to come in and crush material, be it kind of virgin limestone or if it's recycling asphalt or concrete. We built into our annual street contracts last year that the contractor was required to use some of that crushed asphalt and concrete material kind of as a means to bring that stockpile down. It is pretty substantial right now in the quarry.
So it's more used materials than mining or extracting new materials. Commissioners have any questions?
Oh, I think it's around 20. The initial floor is probably about 20 foot deep. And then there's a sump area, and I think that's a good 25 to 30 foot deep.
What's the acreage for the quarry?
I think it's 23.8.
23.8.
Yep.
Okay.
You said we have not used material, type of material before.
We have, but to a lesser extent. I think last year was the first time you had a regular, annual street project, use that material. Our contractor use that material. Typically, it's, the street department doing repairs, using it in repairs.
Do we pay to have that used materials taken to the quarry? Is that part of the projects that we do?
So it does have value and we bake it into our contracts that it's our property once it's milled or removed, the contractor versus hauling it to an asphalt plant to recycle it where there is a resale value. We require them to take it to our quarry, at least in most contracts in the last few years, we've kind of required that provision.
Do we pay for that transportation or is that just part of the contract?
It's part of the contract. I mean, there might be some costs baked into it. Yeah, we ran it a couple of different ways last year with alternatives where if it was the contractor's property and they recycled it, they hauled it to a plant. We priced it out one way and we found it more cost effective that if it were hauled to our quarry and kind of used for our use, we thought it was a better use.
So can I assume we get cost savings when we use that material for road improvements and so forth?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So what would you like from us tonight?
Just to approve the plan. The annual report,
The annual report as
Yep.
presented?
yes.
I would make that motion.
Okay. A motion and a second. Any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay. Thank you, Chris. That was easy. We'll make the next one tough.
Yeah.
Item B. Review and take possible action, purchase of tandem axle dump truck chassis, body, and plow equipment for DPW Street Division.
Yes, so this has been in the budget for a 2025 purchase. It was approved to order in 2024 just because of the length of time it takes to receive trucks. We did send out specs in early 24, did not get response. Some of that was, I think, the timeline given was too short. We had changeover of the assistant operations manager, so we finally got new ones rewritten, sent out, and we got multiple bids back for trucks this year. This is a shared cost between the street general capital fund and the stormwater utility fund. There's 300,000 budgeted. The bids came in when you add the chassis and then the body and the snow equipment of our recommended vendors at 313,371. So it is 13,371 over budget. I did talk to Mark Stevens, who said there is sufficient funds in the stormwater utility to cover that overage. So our recommendation is to purchase the chassis from Lakeside International for $165.16. And then the body and the snowplow equipment from Burke Truck and Equipment for $152,855 for a total purchase price of $313,371.
Any questions by the commissioners? Fire away.
Was this a low bid, Stacy?
The,
Or how many bids were you?
we had 3 for both of them, for both the chassis and the body and equipment. For the chassis, Lakeside was not the low, but the low bid did not meet spec, and it didn't meet spec because of the brakes that they spec'd on there. It did not come with disc brakes. The other problem with that one is the brand of chassis that it is. They force owners of those vehicles to come to them for repairs. So any of the diagnostic equipment that our shop uses, which we just spent $4,000 on new equipment for that, it won't match a Mack truck. So it is the next lowest bid for that. The Body and snowplow equipment. Again, the low bid didn't meet our spec. The augers were different sizes. There was different. That's a lot more fine tuned. So there was electric versus air on the tailgate. You know, that we asked for air. It came with electric. Some of this doesn't make sense to me. This is what my mechanics are telling me. It's all mechanical, but rolled moldboard versus broken moldboard. There's a whole list of things that why that one did not match. All of our other snowplow equipment is Burke Truck, which is the vendor that we're requesting to go with. So,
What's the total price if you would have picked those two low bids?
oh boy, you got a calculator on it.
Just give us, what's the numbers for both?
148,455
Yep.
and then 149,891.
So 398, give or take.
298.
That's
746. Yep.
298. Yeah, excuse me. Thank you. Okay,
Thank you.
gentlemen. All right, I will make the motion to approve the purchase of the 2025 International HV 615 chassis from Lakeside International of Milwaukee for $165.16 and recommend the purchasing the body and snowplow equipment from Burke Truck and Equipment from Madison, Wisconsin for $152,855 for a total purchase price of $313,371.
Second.
Any other comments or questions?
When
All
is
in-
it, when is it gonna be in service, do you think?
Probably early 2026 is the hope.
And the existing equipment will last that long?
Yes, it should. Big knocks. I mean, our winter keeps up like this, more big knocks.
There's good news and bad news to the winter staying like this.
Right.
Other questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right, item C is convened into closed session per 19.85 subparagraph 1 subparagraph G to confirm with legal counsel for the governmental body who is rendering oral or written advice concerning strategy to be adopted by the body with respect to litigation in which it is or is likely to become involved, specifically the Riverside Park restrooms. Motion by Wetzel, supported by Bartz. And I am supposed to do this roll call, so Wetzel, Bartz,
Aye.
Smith,
Aye.
Thompson,
Aye.
and Board is aye. Okay. All right, it's whatever it is, 6:35. We're back in open session. And our next item of business is item E, review and take possible action regarding the Riverside Park restrooms. And I will make the motion to submit a resolution to terminate the contract number 824 Riverside Park restroom structure to the city council.
Work.
You gotta do all the work. All right, any comments, questions, clarifications, improvements on the motion? Anything? All in favor, please say aye.
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 Anyone opposed? All right, that motion carries. We don't have any other further business, so can I get a motion to adjourn?
Support.
Anyone, all in favor, say amen, or say aye, whatever.
Amen.
Amen, yeah. All right, we are adjourned at 6.